Welcome, Junior Detectives, to the continuing story of Crime City, a monthly stage show in the style of old-time radio, recorded live at the Theatre on King in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. This month's episode, Stop the Presses, I Want to Get Off, starring Mike Judson as Victor Marshall, Marsala Lukianchuk as Lilian Steele and Vonda Shines, Kenn Gibb as Brad Bramble, Adam Martignetti as Billy Randyhurst, Patrick Parker and Pablo Rasgallo, Mélanie Dubois as Glenda Glenn and the Zookeeper, Dan Smith as the Narrator, Ronald Ringo and Chief of Police Gary Marshall, Kate Etchier as Crime, and introducing Matt Gilbert as the Nefarious Crime Minister, with live sound effects by Melissa Post and original music by Adam Martignetti. This month's episode of Crime City is written by Andrew Root, based on a story by Andrew Root and Adam Martignetti. We apologize for a few instances of distortion during the recording. Do not adjust your radio.
Greetings, Junior Detectives! Shine your badge, put on your trench coat, and grab your magnifying glass. It's time to set your radios dial to intrigue for another exciting episode of Crime City. Brought to you by Lead Paint, Geigo Clean Face Cream, and America's newest musical sensation, Red Panic. Crime City, home to the fiends, scoundrels, and ne'er-do-wells of the world. A cesspool of illegality. Honest citizens fear to walk the streets after dark. But one man stands against crime in Crime City, honor-bound to serve justice and protect the innocent. Our hero, Victor Marshall, private detective.
Victor Marshall, at your service.
Exiled from a corrupt police force, Victor Marshall, with the help of his boy sidekick,
Brad Bramble, adventure scout, first class.
You're not my sidekick.
Saving the world.
Don't.
With scouting.
God damn it.
and his trusted colleague, Lilian Steele.
Hello.
Aim to clean up crime in Crime City. What nefarious foes will our heroes face in their quest to uphold the law? Find out in tonight's breathtaking installment, Stop the Presses, I Want to Get Off! In our last episode, our heroes, with the aid of a crack safecracker named Sue Safe, broke into the personal safe of the Crime City Chief of Police and stole Victor and Lilian's personnel files, stamped with the cryptic insignia of the Crime Minister. Truly, the corruption in Crime City runs deep indeed, Junior Detectives. We take you now to the offices of Victor Marshall, where he, Lilian, and Brad attempt to delve into this mystery and find out exactly how much the Crime Minister knows about our favorite team of crime fighters.
Oh, geez, this is taking forever.
Sorry, most of this file is written in German. Didn't you get your junior foreign language translation badge?
I only got one for Prussian language arts.
Prussian?
Yeah, I thought it would come in handy.
You know that they primarily spoke German in Prussia, don't you?
Well, I'm sorry for thinking that Lithuanian would be more useful.
All right, calm down, kid.
I'll calm down when we're finished.
Things might go more quickly if one of us, who spent a good deal of time in Germany, pitched in a little more.
Victor, do you know how exhausting it is running around the city in high heels? Because if you had the slightest idea, you wouldn't begrudge me this time with my feet up.
You also took a nap.
I was sleepy.
Miss Steele, what does bedrohung mean?
It's pronounced bedrohung, darling. It means threat.
Oh. What does besiehtgen mean?
It's beseitigen. It means eliminate. Why do you ask?
Oh, well, it's stamped in red all over your file, like 20 times.
Really? Well, I guess I made an impression on old Addie H after all, eh, boys? Let me see that. Looks like they plan to enact a course of action, something called Project Persephone, that will, quote, put a definitive end to the meddlesome Steele, unquote.
Project Persephone? Well, what could that mean?
No clue, Junior. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to call an elimination plot after Persephone. The myth of Persephone is one of rebirth, not death.
Wow. Persephone came back from the dead?
Say, I don't see any of those red stamps on my file anywhere. Maybe some pages are missing.
No, I handed you the entire file, Mr. Marshall.
Yeah, but there's no red stamps. There must be some pages missing, right?
Well, let's see. There should be 92 pages there, all numbered. Just take a quick flip through the file.
No, I've got all 92, but there's no dangerous or eliminate stamps anywhere. Maybe they're in a separate file. Lilian, do you have my other file? The one that lists what a threat I am?
Well, there's this one page labeled Verpflichtung.
What does that mean? Deadly?
No, it means liability.
Which means threat, right?
Sure. In a universe where mountains and molehills are the exact same thing, of course threat means liability. You're interchangeable.
So I'm not dangerous, or deadly, or anything. This crime minister is goofy. A real loon if he thinks I'm just a liability.
Well, maybe they mean liability like an obligation. You could get a pass from the crime minister because you're the chief's son. And we know those two are connected somehow. Well, maybe you're just off limits.
I don't think the old man would stick his neck out for me, kid. No. I think the crime minister is underestimating who the real threat is.
Seriously.
Well, it's not fair that you're at the center of the plot of a whole elimination scheme and they couldn't spare any red ink for me.
No, poor baby who doesn't get to be hunted by Nazis.
It's nice to be wanted, is all.
Yeah, you show up to your detecting job and you think, hey, I'm 10 years old. Maybe I'll be the only child in the room. And then these two get started with the yakety.
Brad's right. We should...
Because maybe, hey, adults can take care of themselves, and why not argue over every single little thing? But it turns out growing up doesn't mean you're gifted with common sense.
Kid?
What? Yes?
Maybe it's your turn to take a little nap, Brad, darling.
Look, I really feel it's important to find out what we're up against here.
Well, eat a handful of almonds or something. You're getting on my nerves.
Oh, you're such a liability.
Now, listen here.
Okay, knock it off. Knock it off, boys, and keep your voices down. We've got to keep this information completely hush-hush until we find out exactly what these screwballs are up to.
Well, how are we supposed to do that? We broke into the chief of police office. We set off the alarm. Once he sees that both your files are missing, he'll be on to us in no time.
Look, we didn't leave behind any fingerprints when we stole the files. We've still got plausible deniability.
Well, what about the check you stole from the chief's safe? The safe that Sue Safe, the safecracker, threw out the window.
The what?
The safe Sue threw. Sue Safe. She cracks safes, and the safe Sue Safe can't crack, she throws out the window.
One more time. I think I've almost got it.
Guys, Sue Safe!
All right, the check was made out to Lilian Steele for services rendered with his signature at the bottom. Unless he planned on telling anyone about his little personal vendetta against you, Lil, well, he'd have a hard time explaining why he's keeping a paycheck locked away in his safe. The best thing we can do now is keep a low profile. Stay completely out of the spotlight.
Don't let the news start. I just got here. Hey-o!
What the?
Who are you?
Billy Randyhurst, ace news hound and reporter extraordinaire. Where there's news, the public needs to know. Just call on me, Billy the Spotlight Randyhurst.
A reporter?
I prefer the term investigative newsman, my boy. No stone unturned, lead unsnooped. That's the Billy Randyhurst guarantee. Hey-o!
What on earth are you doing here?
I'm glad you asked. I've been sent here to write up an exhaustive profile of Crime City's leading investigator. The angle? Glad you asked. Who stands against crime in Crime City? The award? Glad you asked. I'm not in this game for the awards, but I wouldn't say no to a Pulitzer or two. Hey-o!
Great. This is the last thing we need.
Don't worry, I'll take care of this. I've done dozens of these kind of interviews. All they want is a few good stories. Well, I, for one, am flattered, really. A profile on Crime City's leading investigator, yours truly. I suppose you'll want to know all about the famous cases I've cracked, bad guys put away, all that 23 skidoo. Or were you hoping for something a little more personal?
Actually, I'm here to see him.
What?
Thanks for volunteering, but I'm here to interview him.
Brad?
Who, the scout? Nah.
Well, then who? I'm sorry, I haven't the foggiest idea who you mean.
All right, that's enough. He means me.
Yeah, that tall drink of water in the spiffy trench coat.
Him? Oh, come on.
Hey, is it so unbelievable that the newspaper would want to do a profile on me?
Sure, the great crime fighter Vincent Marshall.
Oh, boy.
Oh, this is rich.
Which newspaper did you say you were from?
I didn't, my astute young lad. I write for the Citizen Magnate, Crime City's newest, but most respectable, rag, founded just after the war ended.
Citizen Magnate? Look at the initials. CM, the Crime Minister.
And it was founded just after the war ended. Too much of a coincidence for comfort.
I don't like it. This newsman seems crooked as the day is long. And an all-points expose on Victor is the last thing we need right now. We better vamoose.
What are you guys talking about? Is it newsworthy? Can I get this on the record?
I'm sorry, Mr. Randyhurst, but it's not a good time for an interview. We have to be going.
Oh, yeah? Y'all heading down to the big Adventure Scout meeting downtown?
Huh? What big Adventure Scout meeting? I haven't heard anything about this.
Sure. There was a letter for you in the lobby mailbox downstairs, so I opened it for a look-see.
You read my mail?
Oh, pooh. Quit acting like it's a federal offense. Hey-o!
Let me see that letter. Adventure Scout Conclave? Jeez, it must be serious. The meetings are usually called get-togethers or hullabaloos.
Sorry, Billy. As you can see, we've got to be going, so we'll do this little chat another time. What's your January like?
Oh, no need to reschedule. I'll come with you.
It'll be a late meeting.
I have a tape recorder, I take micronaps, I have a photographic memory. It'll be fine.
Scouts only.
Well, these two aren't scouts.
We're, guardians.
Look at this kid. He doesn't need guardianing. There's no real need for both of you to go.
Fine. I'll stay.
Victor, are you sure that's wise?
Trust me, Lil. I'm pretty good at being obtuse when I need to be.
Well, I'll certainly give you that. We'll be back later on. Brad, let's go.
Okay, well, let me just grab my merit badge sash, in case they're giving out the do-gooder badges.
So, Vince. Can I call you Vince?
My name is Victor.
Oh, great, Vince. So, how many clients have you had this year?
No comment.
Less than 5. Got it.
Well, no.
Detective pulls in a record low number of cases. Has he stopped trying? There's your headline. How would you characterize your working conditions? Squalid or just plain hazardous?
Look, the plaster was replaced last year, so despite appearances...
Let's just go with squalid.
No, come on.
Filthy Flatfoot. There's your headline. Let's talk about your background. What's the deal with you and the noted jewel thief Von der Shines?
What?
Romantic?
What are you talking about?
Oh, just a scuttlebutt on the street is all. Word has it that you had a noted bajingo with Von der Shines.
I didn't have no bajingo.
Think that's appropriate? For a crime fighter and a criminal to be consorting?
We didn't do no consorting. What's your source on this?
Don't worry about that. The Cop and the Kleptomaniac. There's your headline. Okay, so, Von der Shines, ancient history. Let's talk current events. Sue Safe.
Sue?
At least that's what I think her name is. Sue Safe, another in your list of criminal consorts.
I met Sue Safe literally yesterday. How did you know about that?
No matter.
No, really. You'd better tell me exactly who sent you.
Haha, the citizen magnate.
I'm not buying that, so stop selling it.
Hey-o! No need to get so close. Chevy Sherlock, that's your headline.
How did you know about Sue Safe? Who told you that? Who sent you?
Vincent, calm down. Ow, don't push me.
Start talking.
Ow, watch it. You smashed my head against the wall.
I did not. You bumped it yourself.
Vicious Vince Marshall, Chubb's sinless scribe. There's the headline.
You can't print that. That's flagrant.
Flakes of plaster rained from the ceiling as the vicious goon, no better than the criminals he fails to arrest, shoved this intrepid reporter against the wall, sending a deep fissure up the transom and straight to the lighting fixture.
All right, just calm down.
No, I'm not reporting anymore. There really is a big crack in the ceiling. It's right over your head.
How many times do I have to say it? The plaster was just replaced last year, so despite appearances...
Look out! Wowee. Vince? Vince, you okay? Oh boy. Sluice slammed by slumping ceiling. Cop unconscious. It's egg-slinger innocent. Let's see. These must be the files the crime minister mentioned. I'll just take those. Nifty newsman nabs private documents for crime boss. Is rewarded handsomely. Leaves detective out cold in decrepit office. Finally impresses Claire, the new receptionist. Gets date. Can't afford nice restaurant. Loses face. Claire dumps journalist. Dates Warren, the office muzzlehead instead. Well, that's bleak. But you can't stop this crazy roller coaster called life. Hey-o.
Here's your headline, newsman. You're a creep. Leaving poor Victor unconscious and unattended with a bump of the noggin the size of the Matterhorn. What goes on in the mind of the out-cold crime solver? And what's happening at the surprise Adventure Scout meeting? The answer to these questions and so much more after these messages from our trusted sponsors.
Say, when you paint your living room, do you want the paint to dry faster, longer, look fresher? when you're shining up Junior's bicycle, do you want him to be the envy of the neighborhood, no matter what the weather? What about little Sally's doll? Surely she needs to look her best. Well, forget about that ordinary paint and try new lead paint. It's perfect for American homes and American families. Now, you may have heard some nasty rumors of that lead paint can be hazardous to your health, with rumors of studies dating back as far as 1896. But you know who performed these studies? The Germans. Now, take it from me. Lead paint is the way to go for all you patriots out there. It's as American as apple piles. Excuse me. It's a little stuffy here in this recording booth, but it looks as sharp as can be because it was painted using lead paint. Pick up a quart today, available at your Langle Hemworth store.
Those other face creams might remove visible makeup and grit from your skin, but what about the dirt that you can't see? Only Geigo Clean Face Cream guarantees total facial cleanliness, and we're prepared to prove it. First, I'll take this coal powder and spread it all over my face. But this is no ordinary coal powder. We've mixed in radioactive plutonium flakes to prove a point. As I wipe away the coal dust using brand X, my skin appears clean. But this Geiger counter says differently. Hear that clicking? That means the radiation from the plutonium is still there, even though my face appears clean. But now, an application of Geigo Clean Face Cream. And listen, you can hear that Geiger counter barely clicks at all. Geigo Clean, for all the dirt you can't see.
Welcome back, Junior Detectives. I'll say one thing. I'm going to buy every one of those products you just heard about. But coming around to matters at hand, we rejoin our narrative at the Adventure Scout headquarters, bustling with activity as every scout in the city convenes for purposes unknown.
My word. Look at all the uniforms. There's a whole troop in red and one in yellow and... Oh, my goodness. Those paisley uniforms are difficult to look at. This is quite an intricate affair.
Oh, gosh. I wish I'd known about this meeting. I could have worn my dress uniform. Do you suppose they're issuing the do-gooder badges? If I get mine, I'll be promoted to assistant manager for sure.
And then what, Brad? Are your days of fighting crime over?
Oh, my, no. No, certainly not, Miss Steele. Although, admittedly, I'd have less time for it, what with all the new responsibilities now.
Oh, well, no matter. Perhaps we can draft your young friend Wednesday Williams to join our team.
Don't even joke about that.
Unless she's the one to get promoted.
That is the opposite of funny. And I should know. Look, I have my comedy writing merit badge right here. See? It's the one that looks great from far away but gets kind of depressing the closer you get.
Oh, Brad, darling, calm down. I'm only joking. I don't see that little terror here anywhere. If they are giving out merit badges today, she certainly didn't earn one. And you can forget about our ever hiring her. We've got our Adventure Scout quota filled. Thank you.
Thanks, Miss Steele. Say, Glenda Glenn, the Adventure Scout regional manager.
Where does the regional manager fit into the Adventure Scout hierarchy?
Oh, she's kind of like my boss's boss. Regional manager is a very important title. It's just below division manager, which is just below district manager, which reports to operations manager, which reports to the head scout himself, founder of the Adventure Scouts, Lord Scottabald Duggan.
She looks like she's 17 years old.
Yeah, they give the important jobs to the older kids.
Hello, First Class Scout Bramble.
Hello, Junior Scout Parker. Hello, Junior Scout Ringo.
My word, that was a complicated salute. Do you suppose I could see it one more time?
Certainly, ma'am.
Goodness! What was that middle section?
This one?
No, just before that.
Oh, this?
Yes, that.
That represents an owl and a groundhog working together.
That must have taken ages to memorize.
All in a day's work, ma'am. Allow us to introduce ourselves. Patrick Parker, Junior Adventure Scout.
Ronald Ringo, Junior Adventure Scout.
Say the rest.
Pending investigatory action.
Investigatory action?
He lost an old lady in traffic.
Allegedly.
Say, do you scouts know what this meeting is all about?
We were kind of hoping you did.
We can't find the scout manager anywhere.
And if Glenn de Glenn is here, he should definitely be here.
Have you seen him, Scout Bramble?
No, I haven't. Not for quite some time, actually. I saw him at the last merit badge ceremony, but since then I've been on work placement trying to earn my do-gooder badge, so I've been sending my status updates in the mail.
Us too. I'll get my junior alphabetation badge if it kills me.
I've got one word for you. Plastics.
What does that mean? We have a merit badge just for plastics?
Before long, it'll be pinned to this sash, toots.
How old are you?
Old enough.
Oh, look! Glenn de Glenn is taking the stage.
Greetings, Adventure Scouts. Let us begin by reciting the Adventure Scout Pledge. I solemnly swear that as an Adventure Scout, I will do my best in all that I undertake. I will help my fellow Scouts and my fellow citizens. I promise to learn ceaselessly and use my learning as often as possible. I promise to stick to my beliefs unless those beliefs hurt others. And then I should be like, what? Let's get to the bottom of this. And then figure out why my beliefs hurt that other person and see if an amicable solution can be worked out. And if that amicable solution can't be worked out, then I promise to examine my beliefs and see if there's any wiggle room that will allow everyone to live peaceably. I also promise to recycle. Saving the world?
With scouting!
You may be seated, Scouts. I have gathered you here over a matter of grave importance.
Say, where's the scout manager?
Hold your questions, Scouts. It has been brought to our attention that the scout manager of this troop has been running what we've come to understand is a badge factory operation here in Crime City.
What's a badge factory?
The frivolous and wanton issuing of merit badges contravenes the official Adventure Scout Charter and everything this great organization strives for. It has behooved us to remove the former scout manager from his position and declare all merit badges earned in the last 3 years null and void.
Can't do that. No.
What?
The floor is now open for questions.
I'm Brad Bramble, Adventure Scout First Class.
Yes, thank you for reminding me, Scout Bramble. Until such a time as a thorough review can be undertaken, all Scouts are hereby demoted to entry-level positions.
You mean I'm not a first-class Scout anymore?
I'm afraid not. We have to review every Scout's merit badges to see which ones conform with the Adventure Scout regulations. Effective immediately, you are Brad Bramble, Adventure Scout, Weasel Class.
Weasel Class? Well, that's below Junior.
How humiliating for you.
That goes for all of us, idiot.
Can't talk down to me, Weasel Scout.
Don't fret, Scouts. Once we can legitimize your merit badges, your appropriate ranks will be restored.
Miss Glenn, approximately how many badges were issued in bad faith and how many are still valid?
We estimate approximately 12%
Oh, phew.
are still valid.
Oh my God.
Brad, darling, are you all right? You look quite pale all of a sudden.
You mean that 88% of our badges are fake? What about my mountain cat grooming badge?
Mountain cat grooming? Certainly not valid.
Nuts! I spent a week in the hospital after giving that lynx a perm.
My pogo stick skills badge?
Invalid.
Obstacle course theory?
Invalid.
Interpretive dance of the Greek islands?
Invalid.
I've got one word for you. Plastics.
What does that mean? Plastics? I'm pretty sure that doesn't mean anything. Invalid.
What about...
All merit badges are currently invalid, pending further review.
No, you can't just do this. You can't take away my Finnish cuisine badge, my small mortar repair badge, my hyperbole badge. I worked hardest of all on my hyperbole badge.
It's true. It feels like he was working on that one for like 1,000 years.
Look, you must have known some of these weren't on the level. We're a scouting organization. You're supposed to learn about canoeing and building campfires and recognizing songbirds. I'm sorry you're upset, Weasel Scout Bramble.
Weasel Scout?
But the mismanagement of this troop is almost completely beyond repair. In fact, the head scout himself is coming in to personally oversee the rebuilding process.
The head scout himself? Lord Scottaball Duggan?
He's a legend.
Well, when is he getting here? What should we do until he arrives?
It's hard to say. He only travels on foot. Until such a time as he arrives, work on low-level badges, constellations, botany, do-gooding, that kind of thing. Scouts, you are dismissed.
I, for one, am glad we're resetting. He puts everyone on the same level as certain scouts who have been unfairly accused of elder abandonment.
Shut up, Ronald. You are an A-plus jerk.
Alleged A-plus jerk.
Brad, I think you should sit down a minute.
Sit down? Well, I can't sit down. The very earth has been swept out from under my feet. How can I sit down when there's nothing to sit down on, Miss Steele? Answer me that.
That's very poetic, Brad, darling, but you sound hysterical.
Wouldn't you be hysterical if your poetic imagery badge was effectively useless? All those wasted hours studying Chaucer and Byron and that awful Wordsworth.
Calm down. It's just until the review process is completed, and then your badges will be reinstated.
Oh, yeah. A whopping 12% of them. Do you have any idea what kind of dent this puts in my career trajectory?
Take a deep breath.
I can't. There's no air in here.
There. I know how you feel.
How could you? How could you know what it feels like to have your most beloved institution crumble around you?
Brad, snap out of it. That is exactly what happened to me. In the war, in the academy, in the police department. I know more about it than you think.
Oh, don't make me see the bigger picture. I can't handle it right now.
Brad, breathe. Even without the badges, you still built valuable skills.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, well, look at this one. Orca Migration Mapping Badge. When will that come in handy? Or this, Identifying Upholstery of the 1800s Badge. Real useful. Hula Hoop Badge. Useless. Cheese Sandwich Sandwich Making Badge. Useless. Cord Waning Badge. Useless.
Cord waning, it might be useful.
When am I going to make my own shoes, Lilian? I can just walk to the store and buy them. The only badge I might actually be able to use right now is the Escaping Emotionally Stressful Situations badge.
Is that a real thing?
I gotta go. Don't follow me.
Brad, wait!
Where has young Bradley Bramble run off to? And just who is behind the corruption of the Adventure Scouts?
Is it the crime minister?
Yes! He's pretty much behind everything.
Figures.
But to what end? What benefit comes from corrupting a bunch of little kids and turning them into a bunch of zombies, hungry only for token rewards and a pat on the head from an authority figure who they will follow unquestioningly?
He's turning them into the next generation of criminals.
Zounds! You are good! Well, let's see. Gotta hook the listener so they come back after these commercials. What's going on with Victor? Yes, we'll certainly find out after these messages from our sponsors.
have, cats. Is your record needle bored stiff with those other musical combos? Now hear this. It's the newest sensation that's sweeping the nation. That's right. Out now with their newest single, Moscow Meowed, it's Red Panic, the only band that dedicated their discography to socking it to those lousy commies. Hot on the heels of their latest smash hit, No Minsk Mamas for Me, and featuring the exclusive B-side, Siberia Hysteria, your turntable will be hopping in no time flat. There's no need to reach for those Russian records, music fans. I mean, can you imagine singing along to a musician named Lenin? That'll never happen in a million years. Groove along to Red Panic, America's favorite band today. Swinging.
Welcome back, Junior Detectives. When we last left our hero, Victor Marshall, he had suffered a concussive blow to the noggin. We join him now as he comes to, in a most unexpected place.
Oh, man. What happened? Where am I? Hello? Is anyone there? My head. I guess the plaster in the ceiling wasn't as secure as it looked. Last time I take a stand for masonry. Wouldn't have happened if that creep Billy Brandyhurst hadn't gotten under my skin. Say, where is that louse? It's so dark in here. It must be, what, midnight? Where's Lilian? And Brad? Who am I talking to? Wait, where's my desk? And my couch and all my stuff? Where am I? Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? Hello?
Now, Mr. Marshall. Let's quiet down, shall we? You need your rest.
What's going on? Where am I?
Oh, you've had a rather nasty bump on the head, Mr. Marshall. So I brought you here.
I'm at the hospital?
Oh, no. You're not at any hospital, Mr. Marshall. I'm afraid you're somewhere much more dangerous than a hospital.
What are you talking about? Aren't you a nurse?
No!
No, I'm sorry. The doctor. You're the doctor.
You're not at a hospital.
Well, where am I? Who are you?
Who am I? You don't recognize me. Oh, now that is disappointing.
Should I know you?
I should hope so. You've only been chasing me your entire life. I've been steps ahead of you ever since you were a little brat. Ever since you learned that people shouldn't steal. Since you learned that people shouldn't lie. Ever since you learned that you can't cut those little tags off the mattresses until after they've been delivered to the customer.
Look, I'm in no mood for riddles. Just tell me who you are.
Oh, ask me nicely.
Tell me who you are, please.
All right, since you acquiesced so politely, I'll tell you. I am every stolen handbag. I am every arson. I am every smuggler and blackmailer and extortionist. I am every forgery, perjury, murder, and sin. I am crime.
Yeah, pull the other one.
Good one, Vic. Oh, I like it when you do-gooders don't believe me. Don't believe that I exist. It makes it so much more fun. It's like when you see an octopus sneaking up on a tiny little bottom feeder and you just sit back and let nature take its course. See, you think crime is just a bunch of bad decisions people make and not, well, me. You're confused.
Safe to say.
I'm crime. I make it all happen. If it weren't for me, you'd be out of a job.
You're crime?
Capital C, if you please. You know that little niggling feeling in your chest when you see something that isn't yours, but you just can't resist taking it? That's me! You know how you figure it's all right to drive your car just a little over the speed limit because you slept late? That's me. You know how you want to pay your factory workers less than the minimum wage, but then they go and form a union to protest against you, so you invite their leader to your private office and cudgel him to death with your desk phone?
No. I don't know that feeling.
Well, that one is admittedly not universal, no.
So, you're crime.
Sure am, mister. And I have to say, I'm a little hurt you don't recognize me. Gosh, we've been playing cat and mouse for years. You dedicated your life to wiping me out, and you don't even know what I look like. I'm surprised.
I never thought you were a real person.
Come on, man, get with it. I made you who you are. You can't be a crime fighter without crime. You're smarter than this. Don't be a disappointment. Look, it's like this, Vic. Light can't exist without dark, right? Dry can't exist without wet. And law can't exist without me. And as a matter of fact, since I was here long before you, it's almost as though I made you. It's almost as though I am your father.
No, that's impossible.
I'm just kidding. Lighten up, Vic. But yikes, did we ever touch a nerve? I think we're nearing a breakthrough. Speaking of your dear old dad, well, sorry to say, but I've read that file, seen the movie, heard the story, and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You're just like him. He was so easy to take, and you will be even easier. I'll corrupt your heart in 2 seconds flat, Flatfoot.
No, what is happening?
Confused. Oh, don't be. It's as plain as day. Crime runs in your family. It's in your blood. You have no choice in the matter. Haven't you ever wondered why you're so attracted to a certain type of woman?
What are you talking about?
Don't you recall Vonda Shines? A criminal. What about this new chickie poo, Sue Safe? Another criminal. You're literally, laughably attracted to crime. What's the deal? You want to ask me to dinner, introduce me to your mother, kiss me under the willow tree? It's pathetic.
You're wrong.
Oh, please. You don't think I don't know a criminal when I see one? Don't be mean, Vic. I don't think my little feelings could handle it.
No, you're wrong about me. I have a choice.
Oh, well, la-dee-da, Sheriff. You know what you can do with your little choice? You can roll it real up, real tight, and shove it.
I'll stop you.
Oh, you'll stop me. You'll stop me. Okay, let's get this very serious, Victor, because you need to know what kind of trouble I am.
Tell me.
I am everywhere. I'm in your cells. I'm in your very waking thoughts.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, do-gooda. I'm in every citizen in this dump of a town. I'm in their breakfast cereal. They eat and breathe and live me.
Is that so?
Oh, you know it is. You know that for every burglar you put away, a dozen more go free? For every corruption scandal you uncover, there are 100 politicians ready to lie and cheat and play the system like it's a banjo on the front porch on a hot summer's eve.
You think so?
I know so. You think the crime minister is an anomaly? I make 10 men like him every day. I am the high and the low. I am the petty and the first degree. Do you know why you suffer, Marshal? Do you know why your life is hard? Because you are denying who you are, who you know you've always been. You think you can fight crime? You're nothing. You are an amusement for me to toy with. You know what? Maybe I'll have you steal a packet of gum. Maybe you will dump your garbage in the river, pop a tire, poison a well, take systematic advantage of the poor. It's within my power to have you do these things, and what can you possibly do about it? Hey!
Nothing I can do, huh?
Ow! Stop!
Yeah. You know all that talk about fighting crime? Made a lot of sense to me.
Ah!
Put 'em up, crime!
What?
Yeah, sometimes when a problem looks too big to tackle, it's best to take the direct approach and just dive right in. Dukes up! Let's settle this!
Wait, no, what are you doing?
I'm doing what I was born to do. I'm fighting crime!
Victor! Wake up, Victor! Can you hear me?
Lilian! Am I glad to see you? You'll never believe it. I got hit in the head.
Victor!
Then I woke up in this weird dream space.
Victor!
And I think I got into a fist fight with the physical embodiment of crime.
Victor, Brad's gone and I can't find him anywhere.
Meanwhile, in an abandoned factory on the other side of town...
Well, hello, everyone. How nice to see you all here in one setting.
Ah, my charming little Jew thief. That pun is beneath you. There's simply no art to it.
You two are driving me bananas.
Settle down, everyone. I need you composed when he arrives. Wait a minute. Vonda, do you have a cold or something?
No, I'm fine.
Are you sure? You sound different.
This is exactly how I sounded the first time I appeared on this dumb show. Let's get on with it.
All right, but take a lozenge or something.
Just who are we waiting for, Chief Marshal? It's not that pathetic little newsman, is it?
No, Miss Shines, although he should be here any minute.
I could be sketching my latest criminal masterpiece, Marshal. Why do you insist on calling these little meetings in the middle of the night?
I didn't call this meeting, Pablo. He did.
You don't mean...
That's right, Zookeeper. The crime minister.
Is that him?
Could that be?
Open the door, you nitwit!
Oh, it's you. You're late, Randy Hurst.
Extra, read all about it. Better late than never, says expert. Whoa, what a bunch of sinister characters. Say, mind if I get your names for the record?
Vonda Shines, jewel thief and weapons manufacturer.
Pablo Rascalo, criminal design mastermind.
You can call me the Zookeeper, animal liberation warrior and pioneer in mind control technology.
Wowzers, Chief Marshal. That's quite a rogues gallery you've assembled. You must be up to something big. Care to comment?
Would you ask an earthworm if it had plans for a rosebush, Mr. Randy Hurst? Would you ask a hammer if it had plans for a cathedral? You wouldn't. These things, these cogs, lack the proper perspective, you see. So why would you address this tool when the craftsman, the architect who wields him stands before you? You're not much of a journalist, it seems. I do hope you were able to perform the errand boy's task that was assigned you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I recovered the files from the detective and his lady friend, just like you said.
Ah, yes. The files that you so carelessly let slip from your fingers, Chief Marshal. And now I'm to understand that you are also financing this little gang that your son has formed against our enterprise?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come now, Chief Marshal. You offer Lilian Steel 1,000 cranks to capture me.
And that led those flatfoots right to me.
And me. You started it all, Chief Marshal. You're helping those do-gooders.
I'm not. I wouldn't.
I know you've always had a soft spot for that boy of yours, Gary, but this is going one step too far. This smacks of a plan against me, and I just hate that. Perhaps I shouldn't have agreed to spare that brat back when we began our relationship.
I don't know what you want me to say. I've always followed your commands. You told me to kick them out of the academy, so I did. Victor and Lilian were the best cadets I've ever seen, but I threw them out, just like you asked me to. My own son and his best friend.
See things from my perspective, Gary. I don't care that Victor is your son and Lilian is his little friend. I only care that Crime City PD remain as mediocre as possible. Now, I can't stop them from setting up shop on their own, but I've got a full enough plate as it is without their interference. Word has it that the head scout himself, Lord Scottybald Duggan, is on his way to town to undo all my work with the next generation of adventure scouts. He cannot be allowed to set them on the straight and narrow path, or the groundwork for the next 50 years of evil doing will be overthrown.
What are you going to do? You won't hurt Victor, will you?
I'm a man of my word, Gary. You can rest assured that I won't harm your boy.
Oh, thank goodness.
But that's not to say I won't make him regret his decision to take on my enterprise.
What do you mean?
Pablo, Vonda, Zookeeper, where are we on Project Persephone?
The designs for the cyborg are complete. A steel exoskeleton driven by electric motors, responding to electronic signals sent from the subject's brain. The blueprints should be framed, they are so beautiful. My finest work.
The diamonds we stole were the perfect size and shape to create Class 5 lasers, the ultimate offense weapon.
The mind control implant in the subject's brain means that your wish is her command. I mean, there's always an X factor, especially when you've kept the subject on ice since the war.
Never mind about that. Project Persephone is the crown jewel in my collection of elimination plots. That pest, Lilian Steele, doesn't stand a chance.
Oh, I just love it when you talk like that. Naming your death plots after Greek myths, it's so manly.
Wait a minute. Didn't that broad Persephone come back to life in that story? Not exactly a fitting headline for a death plot.
As always, my little newsie, you lack vision. It wouldn't be enough to simply kill Lilian Steele. No. I plan to break her first, to drive her mad, and in doing so, to break the spirit of Chief Marshal's son.
So what does that have to do with Persephone? Prime Minister not making sense. There's the headline.
Patience. You will see the significance soon enough.
You're a monster.
The best way to toy with someone like Lilian Steele is to pervert the vision she has of her heroes. But enough about our little cybertronic endeavor for now. There will be plenty of time to watch the fireworks once Project Persephone is in full swing.
They're not alone, you know.
That scout is turning out to be more trouble than we anticipated.
The scout is a child. We'll deal with him in due time.
Lilian Steele has resources, friends, trained in the art of war.
I'm not concerned with Lilian Steele's colleagues from the old days. You see, one of them already works for me. It seems Ms. Ruby Pearl was only too happy to part company with her former squad mate.
Who's Ruby Pearl?
She was an agent in Lilian's squad, specialized in deep undercover operations, highly skilled at infiltrating covert operations. She was the so-called girlfriend of a dozen high-ranking Nazi officials, brought down entire operations from inside, using what she learned in close quarters.
Soon, very soon, Lilian will reach out to the surviving members of her squad, and when she does, we'll have a sleeper cell on the inside of their little clique. A woman with Ruby's skill set will have no trouble earning and then exploiting their trust. And with this meddlesome little gang of crime fighters out of the way, this city will fall.
And then what?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe corrupt another town. Maybe work on my screenplay. Do you guys want to read it? I have copies right here.
Oh, another screenplay? What's this one about?
Well, you know Dr. Lady Pilot.
Yes. Wait.
Well, this is sort of like that, but I think my version is more relatable because in my version, the hero is a man. I call it Professor Helicopter Man.
It feels a little contrived. Dr. Lady Pilot's pretty perfect as it is.
What do you mean?
He means that... listen, it's not that it's a bad idea.
Look, creative freedom and all, but you know what we don't need? A male Dr. Lady Pilot.
No. No. See, my character is a professor. And Dr. Lady Pilot flies a plane, but a Professor Helicopter Man is the captain of a battleship. Now here, I've got enough copies for everyone, so why don't I just pass them out, and you'll see what I mean.
Oh, look at the time. I really should be going.
I'm just terrible with creative writing. Now, if you were to take up drawing, then come to me. But this, I just fumbled this up.
I don't want to.
Mr. Randy Hurst, will you indulge me?
I can't read.
You're a journalist.
Yeah.
Well. I can't begin to tell you how disappointed I am in all of you. I can't be work all the time, you know.
Maybe just stick to your strengths for now, and once we've wiped out the law and justice types, then you can work on developing your little idea.
I'm just so excited for you all to read it. All hands on deck! Professor Helicopter Man is taking the helm! Toot toot!
Yes, that's very good.
All right, you're right. One thing at a time. We must make haste. Those wretched do-gooders will rue the day they crossed paths with me. Let's go, everyone. Commence Project Persephone.
Goodness gracious me, oh my, junior detectives. That crime minister is a dastardly sort. I mean, come on. A male version of Dr. Lady Pilot? That'll never fly. Oh, yes. And all that stuff about eliminating Lilian, building a cyborg, and corrupting the Adventure Scouts? Is there no limit to this titan of illegality's evil ambitions? And just where has Brad Bramble run off to? Will Victor and Lilian find him in time to stop Project Persephone, whatever it is? You know, there's only one place to find the answers to these questions and so much more, junior detectives. The next breathtaking installment of Crime City, Beyond a Reasonable Scout.
Crime City, the podcast, is produced by Andrew Root and Adam Martignetti. Listen to previous episodes on iTunes, Stitcher, Blueberry, and Soundcloud. To help us find new listeners, rate and review us on iTunes. Thanks to the good people of PTBOCanada.com for their media sponsorship. Special thanks to Ian Osborne, Ryan Kerr, Brianna Ashby, and Sarah Ty. Information about future shows can be found at Facebook.com/Crime City the Series and on Twitter @Crime City Series. We'll see you next month, junior detectives.